So there it is. Donald Trump has won, and already things are starting to move forward. Now, there's a big battle over who is going to be the majority leader in the Senate. Mitch McConnell is out, and there's this big debate going on. But my friends, the story for you this morning is the conspiracy that Donald Trump cheated. I love this. Because Joe Rogan goes on his show with Theo Von, and he says Elon Musk had an app that told him 4 hours in advance that Donald Trump had won the election. And the left is claiming now that Elon Musk was using STARLINK to manipulate the vote and then destroyed a bunch of satellites. Let's go, baby. Oh, Democrats are poised for their own January 6th. Look. These people can't accept it. But I will tell you a story. I will tell you a story of how this all came to fruition on our end for the production of this great week of election coverage. So I had been in contact with the Daily Wire. They passively mentioned they'd be interested in doing something. We had done a crossover with Crowder and the Lotus Eaters. And I said, why don't we come down and do like the big crossover stream like we did a couple years ago? And they said yes. And so the funny thing that happens is when I'm talking to them about production, I say, hey, we're going to go live again Wednesday. That's our plan because we don't think we're going to get the results on this one. And I said, yeah, that's actually a really good point. So we actually planned out this whole week, not because it was like the week at Daily Wire necessarily. It was because, look, if we come down for the election, we've got to be ready to go live for massive breaking news coverage that whole week, which we expected to be the biggest battle ever. And then they decisively called it at 1:30 in the morning. How strange is that? Now, I certainly don't think Donald Trump cheated. Many people are asking. With the final vote tally approaching 78 million for Trump and 74 for Kamala Harris, Kamala's looking at a deficit of around 7 million votes. And the number's been going down. At first, it was 20. And everyone keeps sharing this meme like, where's the 20 votes? Where's the 20 million votes? I jokingly made a meme as well. But I have been saying it's going to, as more of the tally comes in, because California is super late, we are going to end up seeing a much higher number. I thought it was going to be 10 million. 7 million seems to be the number. What's the response from Democrats? Well, many of them are refusing to acknowledge why it is they lost. They're just saying things like, we need to be more, we need to be meaner. One of my favorite, I think it was Kyle Kalinske. Oh, dude, that guy's spiraling, man. I feel bad for him. He was like, Trump is one of the most dehumanizing, divisive candidates we've ever seen. Democrats have to be nastier, meaner. And I just say, yes, please. These people are in a cult. They don't understand. Trump won the popular vote. It's over. Now they're going, yeah, well, he only won by 4 million votes. And that's one of the thinnest margins ever. Blah. In this hyper-polarized country, that may as well be a landslide. It's not a landslide. But the Republicans are going to have the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and the Supreme Court. The House is still a little up in the air. Republicans need 2 more seats to be confirmed. Alaska is looking good. There's a district in Arizona that's looking good. But I don't know. When they slow roll these vote counts, you have to wonder. You have to wonder indeed. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say this, okay? Because they're claiming that Elon Musk had a special app. They're claiming that he blew up satellites. I love it. Everyone's joking, saying Democrat January 6th is going to be crazy. Guys, there's going to be a Democrat January 6th. I will say this definitively 100%. There will be a Democrat January 6th. Mark my words. Put them in a notebook. Tim Pool said it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So be it. But I am saying right now, I think it's a 100% chance. But let me slow you down there. I'm not saying they're going to storm the Capitol on January 6th. I'm saying Democrats are going to protest this inauguration. They're going to protest the vote count. They're going to demand that Democrats do not certify Donald Trump. There will be protests, probably on January 6th. I'm not saying, I know, because by saying there's going to be a Democrat January 6th, it sounds like I'm saying they're going to storm the Capitol. They will be there at the Capitol protesting, demanding that they do not certify Donald Trump. No question. And these conspiracy theory posts prove it. But let's read exactly what's going on. I got a series of videos where these women are just like out of their minds, like Elon Musk was blowing up satellites. That proves it. And I'm going to say this, look, when they called it for Trump, I posted, and I got people on Facebook, these lefties. How come they didn't steal it this time, huh? If they stole it in 2020, and I just go, I never said they stole 2020. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Guess what? I never said they did. In fact, I repeatedly argued that their ground game and procedural electoral shenanigans were way better. That means ballot harvesting, which is largely legal, and I've been screeching that to the wind. It was COVID lockdown. Gallup predicted this. We pulled up the data. Gallup predicted Republicans were going to win this one clean because they poll people. What's the biggest issue? Which party do you think will solve the biggest issue? And since 1952, they have not been wrong. Gallup is not trying to predict who will win. They're just polling what the biggest issue is and what people think, which party they think would do a better job. That's it. They don't then come out and say, this proves that party is going to win. They say, here's what people think. And sure enough, it tracks alongside the winner of the election. But let's grab it, my friends. What is this Starlink conspiracy? Before we do, head over to castbrew.com and buy Cast Brew coffee. As all of you know, this show is only possible because we sponsor ourselves. Ian's graphene dream has been, it's sold out. Holy crap. Well, pick up Rise with Roberto Jr. Whole Bean and Stand Your Grounds is sold out. Wow, you guys rock. Oh, man. Well, Rise with Roberto Jr., everybody's always buying out Appalachian Nights. You got to try the other blends. So Rise with Roberto Jr., castbrew.com. It's our coffee company. Link in the description below. We sponsor ourselves. Let's get back to the news. Here we go from Newsweek. An election conspiracy theory is spreading on social media, alleging that billionaire Elon Musk hacked the 2024 election in favor of President-elect Donald Trump using his STARLINK satellite company. Doesn't it sound so familiar? Dude, I remember when Trump lost, and I don't care what you think about 2020, okay? Winning and losing is not about getting votes or anything. It's about who gets into the White House, okay? If we're talking about political conflict and a culture war and all these things, winning is taking power. Donald Trump lost that. And all these people are like, in Germany, there were servers being seized and satellites were downloading data and there was a shootout with the CIA. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is not happening. Okay, it's not. I'm sorry. And now the left is doing it. They are going to lose their minds when Kamala Harris is the one to count the certification. And she's like, Trump's the president. Have fun. Left-wing conspiracy theorists allege that Starlink, a satellite constellation developed by Musk, designed to provide high-speed broadband across the globe, was connected to the voting machine supply chain. I just want to say this to all of my friends. I am totally on board with this conspiracy theory. And I'm kidding, by the way. What I mean is I have no problem with Democrats losing their minds over this stuff. I have a couple of tweets for you, and I'll show you. Because you're allowed to deny elections these days, right? Those are the rules. Here we go. I said, haha, Democrats, you're right. Trump cheated this time as payback for 2020. Now Project 2025 is unstoppable. Haha, and this tweet proves it. I'm joking, by the way, but you can see L on X saying, can't wait to see this on MSNBC. Sure. But here's the real one. Here's the real tweet. The best part about Trump stealing the 2024 election is that Democrats set themselves up for 4 years to refuse election audits and security. Ha, 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 we win, Democrats. Look, you played yourself. When Trump supporters came out and said this election is no good and we don't trust it, you could have just said, fine, audit the election, see, we don't care, we won. Spend all your money, spin all your wheels, go for it. In the meantime, we'll take seats of power. Let them do it. They didn't. And now what happens? Well, now as they're all screeching into the wind that Elon Musk rigged this for Donald Trump, they've got no mechanism by which to investigate the elections because they passed a new law in 2022 that Kamala Harris no longer has any authority. The vice president has no authority. They have to just ceremonially bang the gavel. Done. The winner's the winner. And there's no recourse anymore. Now, personally, I think it's a bad thing. There's got to be a path for redress of grievances. And I think it's absolutely fine. How about this? Democrats, don't create a bunch of election security and integrity laws that allow us to audit elections for impropriety. Oh, geez. Oh, wait, don't. I'd love it. Absolutely. Let's roll, baby. Let's roll out all the bills and all the laws that say that we can audit our elections. We get voter ID and election security. Make it happen. They say in 2020, right-wing conspiracy theories nearly upended the peaceful transfer of power. Blah, blah. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. A 9-minute TikTok video states, for starters, that California and other swing states were able to use Starlink in order to tally up and to count voting ballots in their state. The video is shared to X by an account. It has 1.6 million views. Holy crap. Can we pull this one up? Here we go.
Hi, you guys. Look, I really debated whether or not I was going to sit here and talk about this. I thought about it long and hard yesterday. I know that this is probably going to cause controversy, or this is going to cause whatever. And to be quite honest with you, I'd much rather lose and people know than not do anything and sit on it, okay?
I just want to pause and just say, please, let us listen to the expertise of some random woman on TikTok who has no idea what she's talking about.
This was brought to my attention yesterday from a friend of mine. His name...
Oh, it's also hearsay. Great.
Is Mr. Wheezy, Mr. Wheezy 100, and he's an engineer. I'm not going to get into information about him, okay? And he brought this to my attention because, you know, he also understands.
Okay, you see, how do people listen to this? Can we even play the video? I'm not going to sit here and listen to like 3 minutes of her being like, okay, I have no idea.
With that being said, okay, you also have to understand that when it comes to Starlink, okay, Starlink is a, you know, it's an IPv4, it's an IPv6.
Internet Protocol version 4 and 6. It's meaningless.
Basically what that means is that it's a specific satellite link-up system that sends signals to whatever it's hooked up to. Doesn't matter what it is, like a normal internet connection, right? With that being said, two things. Number one, why in the flying freaking flap, okay, we're voting fucking voting ballot boxes or whatever, you know, the places where you go to fucking vote. Why were they connected to the internet?
Oh, here we go. I don't know, lady. Great question. They assured us in 2020 that these machines were not internet capable, and then we found out they were. Maybe we could have had an audit as to why voting machines are connected to the internet, but, well, I don't know about you specifically, but Democrats were like, no, harumph, I say. Hey, these are your rules. And now we get a President Donald Trump, so have a nice day.
There is absolutely zero reasons as to why those systems were connected to the internet.
You know what's the funny thing about this? We've got no real data right now about what voting machines were or were not connected to the internet. In 2020, the claim was made, and it was Democrats who outright were like, you're wrong, it's not true, they're not on the internet. And then it was proven over the past couple of years that indeed, many of them were. Okay, well, I'm going to say this. This lady has no evidence any of these machines are connected to the internet other than stories from a couple of years ago that were proving machines could connect to the internet. Right now, they're just making things up. They go on to say this account, blah, 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 one progressive said, attempted to back those claims by replying to a viral post with Joe Rogan explaining that Musk allegedly knew that Trump would defeat Harris 4 hours before the election was called. And I can back that up, ladies and gentlemen. You need only watch the Timcast IRL special election coverage. Watch the episode. It's 9 hours long, so good luck parsing through all of that. But in it, Lisa Reynolds just pulls up her phone and says, my sources at Mar-a-Lago say Trump won already. They know. They know. How? How did they know in advance? That proves it. That proves nothing. I mean, but, you know, whatever. It proves that their internal polling and metrics showed they only needed to win key areas. And then they've got better intelligence. They've got better contractors. And they were probably tracking areas where they knew with internal polling and exit polling exactly what they'd expect. And they were unsure of only a few areas. And so when those areas came back for Trump, they said, that's it. The rest is going to cascade. We won. That's what happened. Here we go. Newsweek reached out to Musk on Sunday. They didn't get anything. I don't know. According to the AP last month, voting machines are generally not connected to the internet, with few exceptions. Blah, blah, blah. How fun is this? From the Express Tribune, did Trump cheat? Ex-users claim millions of votes went uncounted in 2024. Oh, man. Here's a guy. He says, here you go. Trump cheated. Okay, so let's see. Here's an email he posted. And it says, the Dauphin County Board of Elections received a challenge to your absentee ballot you applied for. The challenge argues that a provision in the Pennsylvania Election Code takes precedent over blah, blah, blah. How is this proof anybody cheated? You may respond. He's basically saying, like, why didn't my vote, get counted? This one person. Here you go. USA Today. Viral claims CBS News accused Trump of cheating is baseless. So now they're sharing fake CBS stories claiming Trump cheated. I love this timeline so much. Fact check from DW. Did Donald Trump cheat in the election? following blah, blah, blah. But did he cheat? Here we go. Are they going to play it?
Did Trump cheat in the election? Many users on social media claim counted, casting doubt on the results.
20 million missing votes. I love this. Democrats are like, how did Kamala Harris get 20 million votes less than Joe Biden? You know what I love? The Democrats' conspiracy theory is that because people didn't vote for Kamala Harris, that proves that Trump cheated. I don't care if it's 4 million or 20 million. They're like, how did Kamala Harris get less votes than Joe Biden? And they're saying things like, these were Obama levels of energy. It's not possible that she got more votes than Obama. What do you mean? There's your Obama energy. But Trump energy, just way better. Now they're saying there's no mandate. There's no popular mandate. 74 million. That's only a third of the electorate. Keep crying, dude. You cope and see.
Win in the 2024 US presidential election, the hashtag Trump cheated is trending as social media users suggest foul play in voting results. But what do the facts say? Some users claim that their vote hasn't been counted yet and thus the winner couldn't have been announced. This claim is false. Not all votes have to be counted to announce a winner. The US election is decided by a majority state by state, and each state has the authority to determine how its electoral votes are allocated. If the second place, in this case Kamala Harris, cannot catch up with any additional votes in a state, the winner for this single state can already be announced.
As in many states, the system is the winner takes it all. It doesn't actually...
We get it. I know you guys get it. We all get it. I think I got a thread here. Where's that thread at? Oh, here's a good one. Anyone else find it suspicious that Starlink satellites were just destroyed? It's almost like Elon Musk cheated in the election and destroyed the evidence. And that's why it caught everyone off guard on Tuesday when Harris couldn't keep up. Way too many coincidences. Yeah, I'm having a good time over here. There's this big thread. Oh, man, this one's so good. Okay, so let me see if I have this. I don't think I have the thread pulled up. I thought I did. How do I not have it? Okay, do I really not have this? Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. Here's a thread. So at Shell Shock on X has a whole bunch of posts where these people are just like, I mean, this is nuts. All of these are people saying Trump cheated. They're going full J6er. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the reality real quick. I'm gonna lay it out for you. It's called the popular mandate. And it was relatively narrow. This country is massively divided. Donald Trump is projected to win by 1.5% in the popular vote. That's what they're saying. I mean, it'll probably be a little bit better. They're saying the electoral vote margin is rather thin. It used to be way bigger back in the day. This country was more unified. Right now, Donald Trump is the winner. The Republicans are tracking to win the House. They still need 2 more seats to be decided. We'll see how that goes. Hey, they may not. People are getting a little worried, but it's looking pretty good. Decision Desk has at around 80% chance that they win the House. They've already taken the Senate, 53 seats. There are potential for some legal challenges, which could bump that up, but it's not going the other direction. He's won the presidency. It's over. Why? Couple of reasons. First, Scott Presler and Charlie Kirk. These two men led massive get out the vote efforts. Scott Presler is basically the king of get out the vote. He's been doing this for years. He went to PA and he did the work. And I believe it was his efforts. Now, the other thing they're saying is it was clearly podcasters. Wired wrote the manosphere. What I really love, I'm gonna break it down for you why Donald Trump won. It's very simple. Let me actually pull this up. The manosphere won from Wired.com, and I'm gonna show you. They say Donald Trump owes at least part of his victory to the manosphere. Yeah, sure. The manosphere is like a dating thing, okay? I am not a manosphere guy. I just do politics. But of course, let's do this. They write, even if she hadn't, gone on these shows, the world of conservative influencers dwarfs their liberal counterparts in both follower size and impact. In the same way, Democrats never found their own Rush Limbaugh. They don't have a Steven Crowder, a Ben Shapiro, or even, so help us, a Tim Pool. You had a Tim Pool. His name was Tim Pool. And in 2019, I was supporting Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard, and I donated the maximum to them. In the 2020 race, I said, I want Democrats to win. And you know what they did? They gave us Joe Biden. And I said, over my dead body, would I vote, actually, probably, maybe, for someone like Joe Biden? I wanted Tulsi Gabbard, a Democrat. I wanted Andrew Yang, a Democrat. Well, Yang has really let us down, as Democrats tend to do. And Tulsi Gabbard joined the Republican Party and is now in Trump's transition team. So you come to someone like me and you say, why don't we have a Tim Pool? You did. You had him for a very long time, my entire life. I worked for Vice. I worked for ABC News' joint venture Fusion. And the whole time I was like, I want Democrats to win. And what did they do? They took a dump on the floor and said, Tim, fall in line or get out. And I said, sayonara. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016. I supported Bernie Sanders. Even after all the lies and the manipulations and the things they pushed against Donald Trump, I still said I am supporting Democrats in 2019 in the primary. Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang. What did they do? They cut Yang's mic. Remember that one? Andrew Yang dropped to his knees and is playing this pathetic game. Tulsi Gabbard stood strong and said, I know what's going on, and this ain't it. And she joined with Trump, RFK Jr., Elon Musk, and created a coalition unity party. And I said, I'm witches. And now they're going, why don't we have a Tim Pool anymore? How come the Democrats don't have a so help us a Tim Pool? Absolute insanity. You did. That's why Trump won. Because people like me, and I'm a small, tiny component, but people like me who are middle of the road were embraced by conservatives. Fascinating. How about this one? Charlie Kirk invited us to do Timcast IRL at TPUSA. And I said, that sounds awesome. Let's do it. I am not a staunch suit-wearing conservative guy like Charlie Kirk. I am a moderate, somewhat liberal guy. And Charlie gets it. Absolutely gets it. You know what he's thinking? I'm going to disagree with a lot of stuff, with Tim Pool. But these guys are moderates. And they got a lot of moderates watching them and former liberals who now identify as libertarian or conservative. Tim's also got a bunch of libertarians. We don't need preaching to the choir. So they invited us to come to TPUSA. You know what? They did it again for a second year. And for the third year in a row, I don't know if I'm supposed to announce this, but we're right now organizing our third appearance on stage at Turning Point USA, talking about this big unity coalition. And I'll tell you this right now. Conservatives and Republicans of the staunchest variety, they need the moderates going into the midterms. We got 2 years. And then we got another 4. And the Republicans have said something quite simple. We are willing to compromise with the moderates to win elections and swing this country in the direction that it needs to go. And the moderates said, thank you for being my friend. We agree on these things. And the Democrats said, you're all far-right Nazis, you're racist, bigots, misogynists, and transphobes. And I said, well, they won't talk to me at all unless I sit there and accept them dumping all over the floor. I ain't doing that. And the conservatives have outright said, we disagree on some things, but what can we do to work together? And I said, thank you for trying. They gave the politically homeless a home, and that's why they won. So let me give a shout out to crackpot Alan Lichtman. This one's fascinating.
And the keys, because the keys depend upon a rational, pragmatic electorate deciding based on governance whether the incumbent party should get 4 more years. And we've seen the explosion of some trends that have existed before, but not to this extent. Disinformation. Elon Musk is, I don't know how many hundreds of billions he has. He has been the director of misinformation.
Oh, here we go.
Billion views of his spreading of disinformation.
Alan Lichtman is the guy who has the famous keys to the White House, where he says if a certain number of these things are, true or whatever. I forgot. Let me actually pull this up and we'll round this one out. The keys to the White House. This guy was wrong. He predicted Kamala Harris was going to win, and now his prediction model is garbage. The keys to the White House, also known as the 13 keys, a prediction system for determining the outcome of the elections in the U.S. developed by Alan Lichtman, a Russian geophysicist, Vladimir Kalis-Borak in 1981, adapting methods, blah, 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 for earthquake prediction. The 13-point checklist uses true-false statements. When 5 or fewer items are false, the nominee of the incumbent party is predicted to win. When 6 or more are false, the nominee challenging will win. So this guy has been laughably false. Let's take a look at why. Now, right now he's saying it's because Elon Musk and disinformation. That's why my prediction was wrong. The keys rely on an electorate that knows what's going on. Oh, yeah. Party mandate. After the midterm, elections, the incumbent party holds more seats in the U.S. False. That's one. No primary contest. There is no serious contest for the incumbent party nomination. That was false because there were several, Dean Phillips and RFK Jr. Incumbent seeking re-election. The incumbent party candidate is the sitting president. False. It was Kamala Harris, not Joe Biden. No significant third party or independent campaign. Pause. That's technically true with RFK, but he did drop out. And what this means is usually when you have an actual candidate like a Ross Perot. So we're not going. So there wasn't one. That was true. The economy is not in a recession during the election campaign. That is only technically the truth. The question I had during the election was, do people feel like the economy is worse? They do. So the problem with this one is the government was putting out numbers saying the economy was great. The country is growing when regular people's wages were not keeping up with inflation, and butter, where we live, is $7.50. But you know what? I don't care. You can have that one on the paper. Strong long term. Don't care. I'm going to give that one. Say only 3. Number 7, major policy change. The incumbent administration affects major changes across national national policy. False. Kamala Harris said on The View, when asked, would you do anything differently? No, nothing comes to mind. She was asked this twice, and she said, oh, nothing comes to mind. 4 false. Only 2 more, and Trump's predicted to win. There is no sustained social unrest. Yes, there was, all across universities protesting Israel, and that was a major point of contention for the Democratic Party. That's 5. No scandal. The incumbent administration is untainted by major scandal. False. Afghanistan withdrawal and the check in his watch at the transfer of these men and women whose lives were lost. So that right there, what are we looking at? 7? No foreign or military failure. Afghanistan. There you go. Major foreign or military success. There were no successes. So false. Charismatic incumbent. He actually said Trump's not charismatic. This thing is like only a few of these things could be. The whole thing could be considered false. Uncharismatic challenger. I'm sorry, charismatic incumbent. Yes, false. Uncharismatic challenger. False. This guy is out of his mind. But I'll tell you where it comes from. Final thoughts on this. I feel bad for him. This guy watches CNN and MSNBC, and he believed everything they said, and this is the truth. He's blaming Elon Musk for spreading disinformation instead of recognizing he is the one who lives in the fake reality. Isn't that fascinating? It's everybody else who's wrong. I was right the whole time. It's the rest of the world. My brother, if everywhere you go you smell crap, check your boot. But good luck, friends. January 6th is around the corner. Keep it calm. Keep it peaceful, we hope. Smash that like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Become a member by going to timcast.com and clicking join us. We have a Discord server with tens of thousands of people there waiting to be your friend. And they say, Tim, can you promote the Discord server? Because you can hang out with like-minded individuals. They have pre-shows, morning shows, after shows, tons of content going up. And you'll get access to our uncensored call-in show Monday through Thursday at 10 p.m., where you get to call in and talk to us and our guests. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We're back with more segments coming up in just a couple. I'm trying to figure out a new schedule for because I want to do more and space them out better. So I think the next segment may be noon. We'll see what happens. But thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next segment.